Well, knife lovers, I want to wish you all a very merry National Knife Day. That's right, one of the best holidays of the year is upon us as we celebrate the creation of man's first tool, the knife. And from all those eons past to now, today, those of you who still carry on the tradition of being equipped and prepared by having an edged tool on you, you are in the minority. You're someone who is self-reliant. There's something special about you, and I want to say hats off to all of you, and it's awesome to be a part of this community. In today's video, we're really going to unpack a interesting concept. And this is a modified response video to another amazing gear reviewer here on YouTube, Dominic over at Maxlvledc. If you don't already follow him on Instagram and YouTube, you need to do so. He does amazing work, has great concepts, and a really good, unique take on a lot of gear and equipment. So I'll actually have links in the description below my video to his YouTube channel and his Instagram page, because he presented this idea that I thought was great and a great concept for National Knife Day, which is, of all our collection of tools, right? All of our pocket knives, all of our fixed blades, multi-tools that you have and that you use, what would happen if they all got stolen, lost in a fire, you name it, and insurance isn't gonna cover it, you're out of pocket, and you need to start all over. With the knowledge you now have of the tools and how you actually use them, what would be, in his video, was the top 5 pocket knives that you would start your collection over with, all under $80. So each one needs to be under $80. I'm gonna tweak that a little bit. I'm actually going to present to you today the top 5 gear items I would purchase that are edge tools, 1 multi-tool, 2 pocket knives, and 2 fixed blades. And I'm really looking forward to unpacking why I would choose these 5 items if I was limited to $80 a piece. And I hope it helps your juices start flowing, because I look forward to seeing all the comments. Share your list of 5 edged tooled items that you would pick up if you were limited to $80 a piece as well. I'm so stoked. So it's gonna be an amazing ride, guys. Let's go ahead and dive on in. I wanna begin with the first of the 2 fixed blades. And in 2023, man, $80 doesn't go as far as you might think, and with all the inflation and everything going on. So it was really hard. I'm like, man, I only have like 3 blade options, and I was really concerned. I'm like, what am I gonna choose from? And as I began to look through not only the blades I've used over the years, my current collection, one knife rose to the top pretty quickly, and it's the Spanish-made Joker Knives Campero. Now, this knife on Amazon is going for like $82, $80, depending on the variant that you get. I dug around on the internet. I actually found some sites that were carrying them for about $70. So from $70 to $80, you can score this knife. And I mean, this blade looks like a much more expensive tool than $80, and it has absolutely outperformed knives that are double the cost. And there's a few major reasons why I went with this. Not only is it made in Spain, the Spanish know how to heat treat this, and just European companies really know what they're doing with the steel that's on this, which is Sandvik 14C28N steel, which I've really fallen in love with. It's Rockwell 58 to 60. And the reason I've really enjoyed this steel and why I wanted a stainless for this type of a knife is because I don't have to worry about it in different environments and snowy environments. If I'm cleaning a fish or around water a lot, food prep, you know, I don't have to worry about oiling it and really babysitting the tool. But this Sandvik steel, it holds a good edge for the type of steel that it is, relatively easy to resharpen, and it's pretty tough for stainless steel. So fighting off the rust in this environment, and then all those other factors really make it an excellent choice in this price range. Now, immediately, a lot of you guys, and myself included, kind of thought of, when I was thinking of this question, the Garberg. You can get the Garberg in carbon steel, which is their modified like 1095, or you can get it in this Sandvik 14C28N. But the reason that I ended up going with this instead is one major factor is the grind. I love Scandi grinds. I love using them for woodscraft. They are epic. The Garberg is epic at woodscraft, but they are not my first choice for utility, and they're not my first choice for food prep. And this knife has to do all of those things. So that's why I decided to go with a full flat grind. this has that, and it offers more versatility. Still excellent at woodscraft with the good edge geometry. It's 0.14 on the thickness, so just a hair over 1/8 of an inch thick. Means it's slicey, but it's got a little bit of a stock behind it for those harder tasks. And then even that, it's a modified clip, kind of. I mean, it's not really a drop point. It just doesn't have any swedging. Gives great piercing, good belly, but it's got plenty of edge at just over 4 inches to do all the work that I would do around a campsite, to prep food, to clean a fish, whatever the scenario would be, and just do general utility. If I'm just wearing a belt knife, it has that capability. Has a 90-degree spine, so it'll launch sparks like crazy. The ergonomics are fantastic for me. It's really girthy at like 0.88 on the maximum thickness there, and just fills it out so well with that nice guard, good ledges to really pull and do different cuts. Do what needs to be done, pinned in with 2, technically 3 with the tube lanyard hole. So ergonomic for woodscraft, but also gives me enough traction for a lot of more aggressive cutting. You know, it's not like a Puko per se design. So it just allows for a flow with all of that. And then add to that a leather sheath that is really well stitched, great retention. You can get them with fire steels that match if you want to kind of like upgrade. And then also just come standard with a double snap dangler or a more high ride belt loop. So it's giving you so many options. And again, $70 to $80 and made in Spain. This would be the first fixed blade I think I would buy if I had only $80 to spend on a fixed blade, because it is so capable from my experience. Now, as we're about to look at the pocket knife that I would jump on to restart this collection from scratch, I can tell you there's one piece of equipment that if I lost everything, I would immediately go out, pick up again, and start using, because it goes with me and brings so much utility and peace of mind when I hit the trail to go hiking, backpacking, camping, fishing, you name it. And it's my Zoleo satellite communication device, and that's why I'm super excited that they're today's sponsor. The reason I've been trusting this exact Zoleo device and their Iridium satellite network since the summer of 2021 on all of my outdoor adventures honestly comes down to this key feature, this SOS button. The knowledge of knowing that if I press this button and I am in an emergency situation with no cell phone coverage, I can activate that. It is going to go to Global Rescue, who has performed over 20,000 operations in over 200 countries. And I know that they are going to communicate with me through my app on my phone and be able to coordinate where I am and get to that location and help myself or the people in my party who are injured and get us out of that emergency situation. So to have that peace of mind, not only for myself, the people that I'm with, but also my wife and kids when I go out on my solo adventures, just really takes the ability to be able to explore, to be able to go on those trips with a better peace of mind for everyone involved in my family. And guys, that's just scratching the surface of the capabilities of the Zoleo device. So I invite you to click on the link in the description below this video, hop on over, see all the capabilities, all the different subscription levels and versatility that this satellite communicator offers. And don't forget about my exclusive promo code, which will waive the $40 activation fee. Check out what they got going on and give yourself and your loved ones that extra peace of mind the next time you go out on your adventures. So this pocket knife has been with me a long time. So there's some nostalgia with it because it's been on so many adventures with me. But the reason that's the case is because it's been so reliable. And this segment you could honestly call the cold steel segment, because when you think of durability, immediately for me, the first name that comes to mind is the Triad Lock and cold steel knives when it comes to pocket knives. And so it really comes down to, there's a few options out there at that price point of under $80, but the one that just immediately rises to the surface, the cream of the crop to me in that price range, is the Cold Steel Voyager series. Because honestly, you can score several different models, blade shapes, designs for under $80, easy, like all day. Now there's, in the large, which is what this one is, which is just under 4 inches of blade length, there's a few variants. You can get Tanto, you can get this clip point, you can get drop point now. And I was really thinking, like, what blade shape would I go with and this is going to be my hard use pocket knife. I mean, this is going to be the pocket knife that I carry with me if I go to a job site, if I'm doing some sort of harder use for the day, working outside on the property, going camping or backpacking. You know, like this is going to be the workhorse of the collection. And pocket knives, I only have one other choice to go with. So, and honestly, I own the drop point. I just wouldn't go with the drop point. I think some of it is just nostalgia, but I just have used the full flat clip point version for so long, and it has accomplished so many tasks for me that I just would go with it because I trust it and I know it. The drop point I haven't had as long, and you know, that not that it's limiting, and some people would argue that the drop point is actually more capable. I just, the full flat with the clip just seems to work for me. So that's what I would go with. AUS 10 steel, a great choice now in today's market for this price point. You know, great sweeping belly. Again, you can go Tanto if you wanted that, or again, the more classic drop point. And even the handle scales, you know, allow for a lot of different grip. Gloves, I can grab it. So again, I was thinking like work gloves. You can easily work with it. It has that very large shelf right there, so you can easily choke up and then do what needs to be done. You know, it's ambidextrous. The texture is a little aggressive, and I've always modified them with either a sander, you know, a Dremel tool, something like that, and ground down the diamond texture underneath the clip. But other than that, with the Triad lock, don't recommend it, but I have batoned with several versions of the Triad lock, and it holds up great and just keeps on ticking. And so has just been a workhorse for me, this one, since I first picked it up years and years ago, and that would be the first choice. When I was thinking of like this filter, I'm like, that would be it. It's so durable, so capable, defensive roles it can accomplish, outdoor tasks, you know, and then just general EDC or, you know, food prep around a camp, you know, whatever it would be, I can do that without difficulty, and it's gonna be so strong and reliable and just trustworthy. It's just a very, very trustworthy tool for me. And guys, this is a YouTube video, so you know what I'm gonna ask you to do. First, to hit that like button. It really does help move us up in the listings. And I mean, you guys are literally like helping the, you know, boat rise up. So that's really, really cool. And then I would also invite you to subscribe. If you're not yet a subscriber, hit that subscription button, make sure to hit the bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new content just like this, breaking down gear and equipment, helping you to better stay equipped and prepared for whatever life would throw your way. Now, this next one I think is really gonna rock the boat as we talk about multi-tools and my choice. Because, man, I remember when I first started the channel, you could probably get 20 multi-tools under $80 from like the big three, you know, SOG, Leatherman, Gerber. And now that list has shrunk way the heck down over the years. And you can probably get like 2 or 3 Leathermans at that price point. They're gonna be like right at $80 basically. And you can get like 1 or 2 Gerbers, and if you saw it, like that's it. It's really limiting, really limiting. And you know, I know there's some overseas produced stuff now, and I'm like, I don't know them, I haven't used them, I wouldn't trust them, and I wouldn't drop my money on them because I haven't used them. So of the ones I know, of the ones I use, what would I actually carry? What would actually get the use? Not in concept, but in reality, based off of my last, say, 10 years of experience using equipment and gear to the level that I do now. And I came to this conclusion. It's the Leatherman Skeletool. The Leatherman Skeletool, guys. That is the one that I would buy. Now, there's a reason for that. Now, if you remember back, if you've been following the channel for a while, my family and I packed up everything, rented out the house, sold and got rid of like 80% of our possessions. Everything fit in an RV and in a storage unit, and we traveled the country for 13 months. Coast to coast, border to border, 26 states, all over the country. It was the most epic thing ever. And a multi-tool was a vital piece of kit, because if you've ever owned a camper, things are constantly getting unscrewed. You need to rewire stuff, clamp stuff down, clip stuff off. So a multi-tool became a big part of my life, and I always had either my Charge G10 handles, which are now discontinued, very sad, Leatherman bring them back, or it was the Skeletool, and I carried the Skeletool a lot, particularly when I had like basketball shorts on stuff, and it became an amazing companion for me. And so at that price point, I would actually carry the Leatherman Skeletool the most, because it feels like a pocket knife. And on days where maybe I'm helping someone move, or I'm building, you know, an IKEA something, you know, and I'm gonna be there for 8 hours, I usually throw this in my pocket, or it's my Charge, and I can't afford the Charge off of this budget, because of the very quick, easy deployment. I don't have to open the tool to get to the knife, which is probably 80% of what I'm doing. Locking mechanism there. Sure, I got a bottle lifter, whatever. But You know, the pliers absolutely are gonna get the job done for the majority of light duty tasks, clipping wire, to rewire, you know, small gauge wire, pull stuff out, hold most medium to small bolts that I'm gonna actually run into around, you know, on my life. And then the bit driver is vital, screws, you know, and being able to do flathead and Phillips and be able to do that quickly. I mean, that's really all I find myself doing for the most part with a multi-tool. Sure, the rebar in theory would be awesome, you know, at right around that $80 price point, but I just don't carry it. I have 2 of them and they just sit in my survival kit and rarely get used, like almost never get used, because I have to carry them in a pouch. I can't carry them with a pocket clip, and I tend to carry most of my multi-tools, if I'm gonna be using them a lot, in a pocket clip. Even my charge, I do that regularly. So that's why I decided to go with the Skele-tool. I feel like I would use it the most. And guys, throughout this video, I will have links in the description below to the affiliate networks I regularly partner with, listing these 5 gear items, so that if it's time to make a gear purchase, regardless if it's the tools we're talking about today or just gear in general, I always appreciate when you use the links provided below. Now stay tuned for the fixed blade, because I think a lot of you have it. I think a lot of you are gonna end up putting it on your list as well. But for that final pocket knife, now we have the cold steel, right? That's the heavy duty durable one, but it's not slim. It's not lightweight per se. It wouldn't be my first choice to take, you know, say to church on Sunday morning and then out to brunch with the family, you know, or to take my spouse out for dinner and wear this in my pocket. You know, it's gonna be kind of bulky, particularly if I'm like wearing slacks, going to the office, you know, that type of stuff. So I need like the opposite. I need like a slimmer, faster, sleeker, more enjoyable to carry, if you will, tool. And as I was going through my entire collection, this one has continually been like in my top 5 for a while now, because there's so many aspects that it checks, and it's the Civivi Conspirator. Now, if you're not super familiar with this tool, you need to. You need to get familiar with this tool for many reasons that I'm about to highlight with you. One, it's relatively compact, but still giving you just over 3 inches of blade length, still giving you full real estate in the hand, a supernatural curvature. Micarta, or you can get like several other handle materials, but I love this like gray smoke micarta, rounded scales. It just feels so good. It's not polished, but it's not like really clothy either. Skeletonized handle, ambidextrous. The pocket clip, loop over deep right, all excellent. The flare is a little crazy, but I can overlook that. The ball bearings on the button lock are, I mean, just so fast, so smooth. You know, it's not the strongest lock out there. I would take it over a liner lock if I had a choice, but you know, obviously the Triad is gonna be stronger, but that's not for this. This is going for the office. This is going to that night out on the town. Then you have that very high, I don't know, it's just the high grinds right now are really connecting with me in the last while. So it's a saber, but it's super high up to that fuller, looks so good, little swedge. So it's a great food prep knife, very slim, very agile. Finger flipper. You can use the blood groove to open it up, or just the button itself. So I mean, you have 3 action points to go with, and then it's got Nitro V steel. If you're not familiar with Nitro V, Civivi says they rock well at 59 to 61, so that's a good hardness. It's basically a modified AEBL steel with more nitrogen and vanadium in it. So what you're gonna get is tougher steel than say like M390, and you're gonna get about the same, maybe right around like what Sandvik 14C28N steel would give you. You know, like 154 CM, you're gonna probably see a very similar VG10. It's kind of in that family. So easy to put an edge on, and is going to hold that edge for a decent amount of time, and it's gonna be rust resistant to boot, all those things. So the Civivi Conspirator would be my second pocket knife choice for the more light duty fun action and just around town type of use. Now we can see the finish line, and to be honest with you, I probably would want like a larger chopper slash tactical knife. And so if Ontario Knife Company was still in business, I would probably have picked the Ontario SP10 Raider, because it's just an epic tool. You can kill a bear with that thing, but also it's a great woods tool. Baton, chop, it's great. And those were like 65 bucks. I remember that's what I paid for when I picked it up all the way back in the day. Now they've gone out of business. Blue Ridge Knives has picked it up. Maybe one day they'll, you know, resell them. Currently, I couldn't find any at that price point when I was kind of digging around of under $80. So it's really sad. And maybe one day that'll come back. So I was like, okay, well, we have this Campero that's like a camp knife. I would use it for fishing. I would use it for camping, woodscraft, you name it. But it's not a tactical knife. It's not really a field knife. So we got to come up with that. And these, even though in a lot of areas they are $90, you can find them for about $80, which is insane because I paid $55 for this knife. The Gerber Strong Arm, yo, American made 420 HC steel. Still a trooper after all these years. This is an amazing field knife. It absolutely is, and will do the task that the Campero will not. Not only is this the knife that went through the gauntlet all those years ago, 10 YouTubers tried to break this knife. They could not break the tip. They could not snap the blade. Came back to me dull as a butter knife. I had Peter Kohler from Dark Timber Knives put a convex edge on this for me, and I have maintained that edge ever since, and it is an excellent do-everything utility knife. 90-degree spine, clip point that cannot be broken but will pierce and penetrate. That flat grind is durable, and if you can put a convex on this, it will carve very well, much better than the standard edge geometry that it comes with. So I'd encourage you to maybe do that. You can do that with a belt grinder, sander, sharpener. Worksharp has ones that you can do that with some slack. Watch some videos. You can easily put a convex edge on knives, and it not only helps with the edge retention, but the carving capability and like just overall cutting capability is much improved. Full tank construction, top bottom guard, great for piercing, penetrating. I know I can pry with it, even though I don't like doing that with my knives. Non-lethal glass breaker, great grip, and a polymer sheath that I can lash 50 ways to Sunday. So this is the tool, whereas the other one's for camping and like outdoorsy stuff. This I can lash on my LBE system if I go to the range, go in my go bag, my vehicle, get home bag, whatever it is, and this would be the knife that I would trust. If, end of the world, apocalypse, this Campero is going in my pack for like camp tasks. This is going on my shoulder rig so that if I have to deploy it in a quick scenario to stab and pry, self-defense, do those type of things, this is the tool that I'm going with, and I know many of you have this tool as well. So the Gerber Strong Arm is the second fixed blade for $80 or less that I would pick up. Perfectly, that price will actually kind of go down a little bit. That would be great. But let me know what your guys' selection is, and ultimately I hope that this brainstorming has kind of, I mean, I'm a gear reviewer. I'm always reviewing new knives. I got like 50 knives on this table right now that I'm working with. But ultimately, it's getting tools that it's fun to collect, it's fun to have and rotate through, trade, do different things like that. But know your tools, be very comfortable with them. And if you had to only have two, what would they be? And get really comfortable with those tools. Know their capabilities. If you don't really know their capabilities, you don't know how easy they are to resharpen. You don't know how tough they really are. I mean, don't be an idiot. Don't treat them like a pry bar, but you know what I mean. Like, learn the capabilities and limitations of your tools so you could really hone that in if you had to. In a worst case scenario, and you're like, I got to take like 2 knives with me and that's all I got. What would they be? So, or 5 in this scenario. So, appreciate you guys so much. Check out Maxlvledc EDC if you haven't yet, and check out the other video popping up. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. I'll see you out there, and happy National Knife Day.